Alright, so I'm going to show you the easiest way to cut up a whole chicken. First step is we want to cut the chicken wings off. So if you're holding the wing like this, it gives some weight on the actual joint. And then what you're going to do is cut right in here towards the breast of the chicken. So you're going to cut right in here. And as you're pulling, you'll feel it pull away. Alright? And then you simply cut the back off here and then into the chicken breast. This part of the wing is actually part of the chicken breast. So you can cut it a little more if you want a bigger chunk on your wing right here. Alright, so that's one wing. Alright, so I'm just going to grab the other side. Same thing. Hold the wing. You're kind of holding the chicken up like that. Right in that joint. You can see the joint. Make one cut. And you're pulling away a little bit as you cut it. You'll see the knuckle in there. You're getting on the other side of that whole knuckle. Okay? Pull it away, and then you're simply cutting through. So there's the wings. Alright, so let's cut these wings a little bit further. So that simply is fall down the line, and you'll see where this joint is, and then you cutting through right there. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of the bone, but that's not a big deal. But then this part you're cutting through the skin, and you're working right down into that joint, and you'll see that joint, and then it's a simple cut through. If it's not easy to go through, then you're in the wrong spot, and just move over a little bit and slice it through. All right. So there's our wings. That's one wing. Cut this one up real quick. Again, find that crack. It's not so much this way, but that way. Okay. And then here you're cutting in between. And if you had the wingette and drum, how the shape of it is, you can kind of see it as you go down until you get to that point where they both separate. These little pieces here, you can cut them off. But that's it. The simple way to get rid of the the wingtips. Or you can leave it whole if you like. Which part of the wing do you like best? Do you like the drum or the wingette? Or do you even call it wingettes? Alright, so now we got that out of the way. Now we're going to take off the legs, okay? So this is really simple. In here you'll see a gap between the leg and the rest of the body of the chicken. Alright, and you're just going to simply make a cut in there, and you can see the fat pull away and the skin, okay? And down in here it travels down along the breast. Now if you cut too far in, you're going to take the skin off the breast. So kind of keep it close to the thigh. You can kind of see it there. And then you're simply going that far. Alright? And do it on the other side. Keep the cutting away from the breast so you don't pull it all off the breast. Alright, so you're gone all the way through like that. You see it's separated. Okay. Now we're going to pop the bone out of the joint where the leg is, okay? So simply if you grab the whole chicken like this and just with your hand supported under it right here, you just simply push up where those bones are and you'll see the bone pop out right out of the knuckle. Really simple, shouldn't be hard. They just pop out like that on both sides, okay? Alright, so now you can see it's separated. Now, cut that skin, and if you see this part on the top of the thigh, this little cheeks right here, that's considered one of the most tender parts of this chicken. So you don't want to lose that. So what you want to do is just carve close to that, okay? And then you're carving back towards the knuckle. But see how I left a little bit of that? The closer you get, the more you'll get of it. You can see it right here. Then you're going back to the knuckle, and then you're simply going all the way down to where the tail would be on the chicken. Now obviously the closer you cut here, the more meat you're going to get out. So if you were a little bit closer, you get that little bit of meat, right? And that's one leg separated. Guys, throwing it on the grill, you can go just like that. Okay, salt, pepper, olive oil. You can have the thigh connected to the drum, right? All right, same thing on the other side. This will be, you can see it a little easier. I'm coming in here. That's what they call the oyster, actually. See it? And then if you want to see it from this side, you're cutting down all the way towards the tail again. Okay, so now we're going to separate the thigh from the drum. Okay, so you see right here there's a fat layer, and it kind of goes across the thigh and the drum, and you can feel in here there's a knuckle. You can see it here actually, right? So the idea here is you want to go through that fat layer on this side and where the knuckle is, and that way it just cuts right through simply. Okay, so the knuckle stays on the thigh, and then the drum doesn't have it. It's that other section. So there's one, right? Guys, I have a whole nother video if you want to know how to debone the chicken thigh. I show you that in another video. I'll have it at the end or in the description. Same thing here. We're seeing that fat layer. You can see it right there. We're going to be on this side of the fat layer, not where the bone is. And if you have to, you can feel it and you'll get a better idea, right? And then it's simply cut right through. Okay? So there we go. Another beautiful thigh and a beautiful drum. Guys, you can see how simple and easy it is once you know the motions. And look, we already got a whole chicken almost cut up. Hey guys, I wanted to share with you real quick. I have a cooking basics course. It's got lessons in there that will help you learn how to cook or elevate your cooking game. It's extremely affordable. Check out the link in the description or the link above. Now let's get back to the video. All right, so now to the chicken breast. What you want to do is find the center of that chicken. Now guys, the benefit, like I said, the whole chicken, cutting it up this way, you get to keep the skin. But if you don't want skin, simply just make a couple cuts here and you can pull the whole thing off. And this is how you get a chicken breast in the store. So you just simply cut it there and then pull it all the way back. All right. And then at this end, you can just cut it off. This will be able to show you a little better on how we're actually going to cut this. So if you see right through here is the bone, right? What you want to do is get on one side of it, and you're going to slice up towards the top and down towards the bottom. That's going to let us see where the actual bone is, right? And then you go a little bit deeper and you kind of see. Now, one trick I like to do here, because I don't have much motion, once this breast falls off, this thing's way out of balance. So if you cut a little bit on this side as well, it's going to give you something to hold to when you cut this off later. So in here, you're simply working off like this part of the knife, the top, and you're trying to keep it as close as you can to the actual bone or like rib cage of the chicken. So you're just making these light cuts. And you'll see it pull away. Up here, you kind of have a path because that wishbone is right here. This is actually bone right in here. So that gives you a path to follow as you cut up. And then just keep going through. Keep going through. If you can see how close we're getting to this. And that way we're keeping all the meat intact. And getting a full chicken breast. Now, guys, another benefit of the whole chicken is you get the chicken tenderloin. And that's right here. You can see it. So simply that detaches just by grabbing it. And you can cut it through. Now, that's a beautiful tender, as you can see. But it does have the tenon there, right? On the chicken tender, right? So you want to cut that out, so you can just grab it here, and then you're going to cut towards the center of that tender. And if you start to go too deep, just cut into it like this, so you can get just that. And as you get closer to the bottom, it's just not as much to it, so it's not as bad. So that's one tender. Okay. And here's a beautiful chicken breast. A little bit of fat here. You can trim that off if you want. But obviously, we know fat is flavor. All right, so now to the other breast. You're going to flip it over to the side. Now, if you're a righty, obviously you're doing this the opposite. But now, see how it falls over. This is what I was talking about. And you're going to try to hold it up as you're trying to make that first cut. It's too tough. So now you got it here, and you have something to hold to as you, like we did before, stay as close as you can to the rib and part of the chicken. And then I'll show you a little better in here. You can see we're staying as close as we can. And then all the way up to the top. Just light cuts. This one, you still got that one bone holding the breast. You can put your knife in this way and cut up through. And then you still right along as close as you can. I mean, we're getting real close. So you see all this stuff here. Right to the top. Then we got another beautiful chicken breast. You can see the tender on here holding on for dear life. Cut that out. Remove the tendon out of the chicken tender. You can see it a little bit clearer there. Alright. So grab the end of it. As you get in tighter, you want to get a little bit closer so you don't lose too much of your chicken. So there you go. You got a nice tender, beautiful chicken breast. Now, guys, this doesn't go to waste. What I do is I take this whole carcass and I throw it in a Ziploc bag and I put it in the freezer. And then when I make chicken stock, I use these carcasses. So there we go. We got a whole chicken all cut up with all the parts. We got all the wings, 2 chicken thighs, the drums, 2 beautiful breasts, and the bonus. You get the chicken tenders that you wouldn't get if you're buying it and just buying the whole chicken breast. Guys, simple and quick. I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know how it goes when you cut up your whole chicken, and I'll see you next time on Home Cook Basics.